Hey guys, welcome back to Pokemon DnD with the Exodus Dominion. We are on session 2. We have American Warbird joining us again, as well as Azrael. And then, of course, I'm TattedSith. And we got Dodger in the background. We got Radar somewhere around here. And we also have American Warbird puppy.
She's laying down.
Yeah, so before we get started, guys, who can tell me? I have it written down, of course. I have everything written down. But who can tell me what happened in the last episode of significance?
I saved the village.
That is very self-conceited of you.
Very conceited.
Very
How did you
conceited, but it's
save?
true.
How did you save the village?
I stepped in between a Zoroa who was shifted into a Scyther, and Luna and I beat said Pokemon to keep it away from the villagers.
Okay. What else happened? Azrael, what do you remember?
What I remember is that after all was said and done, where we left off was when we were at Professor Rosewood, and we got our Pokédexes, and we were about to set off on our adventure.
Very true. And well, before we set off on our adventure, we're actually heading back to the town square, before dark, to meet up with Emily. She has asked for a battle of sorts. We don't know with who yet, but we do know that she's going to be there, presumably with her hair across, and we are going to do some battles. We may be able to start our journey in this episode after said little battle tournament thing going on. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. So, as we left off, we are leaving the professor's house, or the professor's lab. We have our Pokédex in Hall. So, as we are heading through town now, it is roughly about 7, 8 p.m. at night. The town is lit up with a bunch of lights. People are everywhere enjoying themselves as they normally do on Circle Island. As we get to the center of the town square, we can see a big crowd is surrounding the battle arena, and we see a Pokemon battle taking place. There's an old man with like Psyduck and another guy with like Growlithe, and they're going at it and stuff. It's Psyduck. You would think it'd be one-sided with Psyduck being water type, but Psyduck kind of always has a headache going on. Refuses to do things of usefulness until he gets a big headache, and then it gets psychic powers.
Yeah.
So battle's taking place. As the battle's taking place, Emily spots us as we approach. I will take a moment to say that Zex, or that's played normally by Sylvanas, is currently out of commission on this episode. For right now, we're going to say that Zex is currently back at his house, and he is raiding and making sure he's got everything ready for the adventure that's ahead of us. As Emily sees us in the town square, she approaches us, and she has her Pokeball in her hand, and she has like this like little grin among her face, and she looks to us and says, "All right, so which of you guys wants to battle?" And in this instance, I would like for each of us to go ahead and roll a d.
What was that again? You sort of cut out there.
Please roll a d20.
I rolled a 6.
All right, Azrael, what did you roll?
I can tell you in just a second, actually.
All right, I rolled a 12.
Roll a what?
D20.
I rolled a 13.
All right, so Azrael, as she asks who she wants, who's going to battle her, you step forward a little bit and kind of cockily, like raise your head up, like I'm gonna take you on this time. So with that being said, she kind of gives a nod to you as she waits for the battle on the little training field to end. About 5 minutes goes by, and the battle's over, and Growl is a 1. To no one's surprise. Uh,
Surprise.
the trainers shake each other's hands as it's all fun and games on the island and stuff. It's all for fun. As they do, uh, Emily, she like looks over to you, Azrael, and she like kind of does like a little, "Come on, let's go." She goes and takes her place across on one side of the training stadium, and Azrael, you go over to the other side, and she looks over at you and asks, "Are you sure you really want to battle me?"
Of course I want to battle you. You show great promise. And besides, my friend is basically showing off, basically, so it's my turn to just show my stuff, you know?
Show your wink, wink.
Wink,
Anyway,
wink, nudge,
so
nudge.
Emily kind of gives like a she kind of like raises her brow or whatever. She kind of like laughs a little bit that you want to show off because Wolf was showing off the other day, and she says, "Alrighty then." She throws her Pokeball, and Heracross comes out, of course, and he does like a little like he's like Heracross, whatever they do, whatever, looking all powerful as he does. Um, and then I'm gonna assume that you go ahead and send out your Pokemon.
Step right up, Spirit. Time to show your stuff.
He even has a little saying as he sends out his Pokemon. That's fantastic. So Spirit comes out. In case some of you guys are just now tuning in to this episode, Spirit is Isaiah's or Azrael's character Isaiah. It's his Pokemon. It's a Ghastly. So Ghastly comes out, or Spirit comes out, and kind of does like his like little like weird Ghastly tongue thing. It's like, yeah. He comes out, and he's floating around like a little ball of gas would. Um, a referee, one of the local islanders, just walks up to the side and says that he'll referee the match. A lot of people are sitting around as they know that Emily is actually a well-renowned trainer among the Islanders. She already has 5 gym badges, um, and she has a lot more Pokemon apparently, but Heracross is her main, so she's only going to be using Heracross for this battle. Um, the referee said that this will be a one-on-one battle. Yeah. Referee says that this will be a one-on-one battle. He looks to both of you guys and asks if you are ready to begin the match. Emily nods her head with a grin, saying yes. And then the referee looks over to you, Isaiah, and asks, "Are you ready to start the battle?"
I'm ready.
All right. Please roll a d20 real quick for me.
You got it. 15.
Emily rolled a 17, so Emily is going to be going first. Emily kind of like raises her hand and man's hair across to charge in with a headbutt. So, as I do, Emily rolled a 2 on that. Go ahead and roll another d20.
You got it.
See what your defense is.
8.
Alright, so Heracross, his wings begin to flutter and charges in to do a headbutt, and Ghastly just like kind of like fades down into the ground, and Heracross just like looks around like, "Oh, where the hell did he just go?" And get the Ghastly just like pops back up on the other side, just like doing his little tongue thing again, like pretty much, pretty much. All right, so now it's your turn. Now. So what do you have Ghastly do or Spirit do?
Spirit. Use Hypno.
Hypnosis.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll d20.
20.
That is a crit success.
2 points.
Emily rolled a 14. So, I mean, since it's not like a straight up attack. It's more of like a status inflictor. What hypnosis is.
Yeah.
Hypnosis does connect, and it puts Heracross to sleep easily. Because it was a crit success, I will say that we're going to go ahead and skip Emily's turn this time, and say that no matter what, the Heracross isn't waking up anytime soon. So we're going to go right back to you, Isaiah, and go ahead and roll and tell me what you're going to do, and then roll a d20.
Alrighty, let's see here. What am I going to do? Okay. Spirit, use Sucker Punch.
Okay. Roll your d20.
3.
Somehow, Emily rolled a 10. So
He rolled a
somehow,
1 asleep.
literally, Ghastly is going in for like it's like forming like a gas fist of sorts, and it's just going to go for a nice sucker punch to the face. And Heracross is having such a nice dream that it playfully like rolls over as if it's chasing something. And Ghastly just like looks over and just in odd confusion, even though it still has a smile on his face. It's confused. So Emily shouts at Heracross to wake up. I have to roll a for in status inflictors like this, especially with hypnosis and stuff like that. You roll a d10, and if it's above 5, they awaken. If it's below 5, they do not. 5 counts as a no. So,
I rolled a d10.
oh no, you don't roll a d10.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
No, the trainer whose Pokemon has the status infliction will roll. So Emily rolled.
Alright.
Emily actually rolled a 10. So Heracross does wake up this time. She then looks at Heracross and commands it to do a Fury Cutter. So go ahead and roll a d20. Emily rolls a 6.
I rolled a 3.
All right, so first blood finally. Heracross like snaps out of its sleep and like looks up at Ghastly or Spirit with conviction as its wings start fluttering even faster as it charges and just like raises both of its hands, crosses across with a green glow as it connects with the Fury Cutter. So Spirit takes a hit. It's now got 4 HP left. It is now your turn. What will you have Spirit do?
I would go ahead and tell Spirit to shake it off and use Lick.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d20.
5. Shoot.
Well,
5.
Emily rolled a 2, so you actually got a hit. So Ghastly,
Imagine it has a chance to paralyze.
it does have a chance to paralyze. I was going to get to that, but first off, it goes in and it fades in and out, and it appears right next to Heracross's face and just gives him the biggest stitch kind of lick, and just like it sends a shiver down Heracross's body. In this instance, it is now up to the person who is inflicting the paralysis, or like a possibility of like a freezing or flame infliction, stuff like that. Since you are licking and there's a possibility of paralysis, go ahead and give me a D10.
17.
D10, not 20. D10.
Well, that's why. Do you want mean 1d10?
1D10.
Okay, yep. Okay. 3.
So it does not inflict a paralyze, or does not paralyze Heracross, but it does hit him. So it is now 1-1. Both have 4 HP left. It is now Emily's turn. Emily commands Heracross to go ahead and shake off the lick and tell him that it's not that bad, and commands him to go ahead and use another cross scissor. Or
X scissor.
So X scissor. There we go. Thank you. I was saying cross scissor, thinking of something else. X scissor. Heracross looks up and goes for the X scissor. Go ahead and give me a D20. She rolls a 14.
4.
I don't know if it'll show up on there, but the 14.
Nope, doesn't show up.
Oh, so you rolled a 4. So Heracross gives kind of a nod back to Emily as it jumps up real quick and just slashes Ghastly again, or Spirit once again with another X's here, bringing it down to 3 HP. It is now your turn to go ahead and have Spirit do something else.
All right, Spirit, we're going to try this again. Use Sucker Punch.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d20. She rolls a 7.
19.
Okay, so you definitely connect. Ghastly kind of fades in and out again, and then Heracross is looking around, like awaiting it to appear somewhere. And out of nowhere, Ghastly appears from underneath the Heracross and just straight up just punches right up across Heracross's where his jaw would be, because Heracross doesn't have a jaw, but it hits him in the face.
His horn.
So Heracross goes flying backwards a bit as it lands on its feet as its wings flutter to catch its fall, but it still takes the hit. So it's 3-3 now, or 2-2 now. Each have 3 HP left. It is now her turn. She kind of grits her teeth a little bit, seeing that Ghastly or Spirit is doing pretty well against her Heracross. And again, Heracross is their ace. So for Heracross to be having a competitive fight with a new trainer and Pokemon that hasn't really been in battles is kind of dumbfounding to her. She kind of looks at Heracross and commands it to use Bullet Seed. So from its distance, it begins to like just burst out a bunch of seeds at high velocity. So she rolls a 9.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so as Heracross is spitting out these little seeds as fast as bullets, Ghastly takes the hit, and inside of its gas form, little holes appear and stuff where the seeds were hitting it. And Ghastly kind of like freaks out a little bit, but it takes the hit. It now has 2 HP left, but it is now your turn to have Spirit do something.
All right. Let's see. I'm thinking. All right, Spirit. Let's go in for one more time. Sucker Punch.
All right. She rolls
16.
a 9 again. Well, you definitely hit. Ghastly
We're just
Spirit.
trading blows.
Spirit fades in and out again. Heracross looks like it's ready, and it points downwards. And instead of coming up from the ground like last time, Spirit kind of like fades into existence, like right behind the Heracross as it's looking down, and punches the back of its head. And Heracross like face plants into the ground and stuff. It is now both at 2 HP left. It's now Emily's turn. Emily, she kind of clenches her fist as she's starting to get aggravated that Spirit's doing well against her Heracross. She tells Heracross to get up and use Mega. So Heracross, its horn begins to glow a little bit, turns around and attempts to use Mega Horn. She rolls a 14.
I roll a 1d20.
Yes, 1d20.
I rolled a 15.
You barely miss, or she barely misses, or Heracross barely misses hitting you with the Mega Horn. Heracross like turns around and attempts to just hit you with that giant horn of its, and Ghastly just like fades quickly enough to evade, and it appears kind of closer to you now, Azrael, Isaiah, and it just kind of taunts the Heracross a little bit. It is now your turn to command Spirit to do something.
Okay. Spirit, use Lick.
Okay. Go ahead and roll D20 again.
Yes. Ooh, beat this. 20.
19.
Oh, close.
So, that was actually a crit hit. Crit hits that are not status, even though this has a potential to inflict status, crit hits of any sort, like in our Star Wars game, do double damage. Now, if this was, let's say, if you were doing hypnosis, it wouldn't do damage because it is just an affliction. This is actually an attack that has the possibility of inflicting. So, with that lick, you actually defeat the Heracross. As
Woo!
Ghastly looks over, kind of like he's like a weird devilish grin as he like fades in and out, and Heracross is like trying to get ready again, and Ghastly like appears like right dead center of Heracross's face and just gives him biggest stitch lick he can give, and Heracross backs up again, and Ghastly just like quickly flies right into Heracross is like face again and gives him a second lick, and it freaks Heracross so much that it paralyzes him. He falls over and just has like the swirls in his eyes. Like victory goes to Spirit. Go ahead and mark down next to Spirit that Spirit has 1 XP. I will go ahead and do the same. And pretty soon, I'm probably going to go ahead and make you a Google DOC only for my sane knowledge and stuff of keep up with things. But
How do you spell Heracross?
Heracross is Heracross.
Thank you.
Hera as in the Greek goddess, and cross as in the biblical sign.
Cross. Indeed. So, Spirit, he kind of like floats around in like a rapid pace as he's excited that he beat the Heracross. Emily kind of rushes out to Heracross and leans him up into her arms and stuff and has him on. She's like, "You did a great job, Heracross. Return." She looks up at you from her position as Heracross is returning to the ball, and she kind of gives a glance at you and then gives a glance at Spirit, and she's like, "Ghastly, you did very well today. Congratulations." And she looks over to you, and she's like, "You are a great trainer, and I acknowledge your strength, and I can't wait to battle you later on down the road. Hopefully, we get to battle during the Pokemon League." She is wanting to be a trainer, obviously. Like I said, she has 5 gym badges already. Emily is going to be a recurring character that will pop in and out here and there and pose as a trainer that randomly wins the battle. But the victory is yours, Isaiah. So what do you do as you hear her words?
I look forward to our next battle. Just remember, I won't. Just don't forget that I will go all out. I expect the same from you.
She gives a nod and she says that she wouldn't expect anything less. She won't do any less for you. So after all said and done, Emily gets up and kind of like walks off. Her dad is off in the distance and gives her a pat on the back as she steps off to the side. You rush back over to the others, and Caleb and Wolf kind of like give you like a high five and stuff. Like, congratulations. So, Wolf, as he's coming back, what do you say?
Good job on the battle. You should check and make sure your Ghastly, make sure Spirit is at full health for when we go on our journey.
Caleb kind of like butts in. He's like, "Yeah, definitely. You probably need to stop by the Pokemon Center before we head out and everything." But
That sounds like a good idea.
yeah. At this time, 2 others step up.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
One is he's wearing a blue jacket, black shirt, black pants, blue boots, orange belts, and he's got dark skin. He kind of gives like a little like fold of his arms and stuff, and he has a different demeanor than Parker and David. It's more of like a friendly. It's like friendly, but it's also competitive. And he kind of like looks over at all 3 of us, and he just gives like a little shake of his head, and then out from behind his feet comes a Riolu. In case you don't know what a Riolu is the pre-evolution of Lucario. This gentleman is Nick. He will be a reoccurring player. He's not going to have any significant time in this session, but he does make an appearance just as a little nod of his head. And from the other side of the stadium, another trainer is eyeing you guys. This guy, he's wearing like grayish purple kind of like shirts. He's got a ponytail, a big beard. He's kind of on the plumpier side, but not so plump. And sitting on his shoulder is a C dot. And
Ooh, interesting.
he kind of like is sitting there, like just leaning on the bench with his C dot like on his shoulder, and he's giving like a little nod and stuff. This gentleman, his name is Brandon. He too will also be a recurring character of note. So just an FYI. And then, of course, David and Parker are sitting in the stands as they're watching their Kid and Squirtle also sitting in their laps as they're watching the battle commence, or the battles take place. As the field's being cleared and the debris is being cleared, other trainers take the field and start battling and stuff. Caleb looks over at both of you and he's like, let's go ahead and go to the Pokemon Center and make sure that we're registered for the Pokemon League. Wolf, are you wanting to enter, or are you just wanting to travel with us since you want to be a breeder?
I will travel with y'all.
Okay. So Caleb will nod and stuff, and he's like, all right. He looks over to Isaiah, and he's like, you're still wanting to be a trainer like me too, right?
That's right.
Okay. So we definitely need to go to the Pokemon Center and register for the Pokemon League. So as he says this, the three of you guys head off and head towards the Pokemon Center, which is literally like a street the other way. So like south. It's like a street south and everything, and it's a big bright building like most Pokemon centers are in the anime. As you guys enter, there's several people sitting off to the side with their Pokemon. Nurse Joy is sitting behind the desk doing some paperwork, it looks like, and her Chansey is running back and forth as Chansey normally does with its patients and everything. We approach the counter, and Nurse Joy kind of looks over at us and gives us a smile. She says, hello there, what can I do for you fine gentlemen today? Even though we are teenage stuff, people are very respectful of our island. So she asks us what she can do for us, and Caleb kind of looks at her and is like, well, we want to register for the Pokemon League. And she kind of gives like a smile, and she's like, oh, the Eldritch League. You know, it's not as easy as the other leagues, right? And Caleb kind of looks over at the others and gives a nod and everything. And she says, all three of you are entering? Caleb kind of looks over, gives a nod. He's like, I am. And then he kind of gives a look over at you guys, let you guys answer.
I'm not. I'm more of learning to be a breeder, so I'm just going to be traveling with them while they're going.
I said underneath my breath, more like dead weight. But yes, I too am going to be traveling as well to become a Pokemon Master.
Well, then.
Above table, that is savage. I like what's going on over there. It's funny. It's like inner group rivalry. So, but Nurse Joy kind of like gives like a little giggle, and she asks for our Pokédexes. So Caleb will hand her his Pokédex. Isaiah, you need to hand that.
Here you go.
Nurse Joy takes the two Pokédexes, and she's like, okay, so we have. She opens them up. She's like, Caleb and Isaiah. She enters them into the computer, and it kind of makes like a little do kind of like ring, kind of like a Legend of Zelda kind of little voice thing, and it says now register. And it says your name. It says our names and where we're from. And then she gives us back our Pokédexes, and she wishes us good luck. She also asks if she can heal any of our Pokemon before we go. Caleb kind of nods. He's like, I think Charmander's fine, but let's go ahead and make sure that everything's tip-top shape. So he hands her Charmander's Pokeball, or Natsu's Pokeball, and he looks over at the others. He's like, are you heal your Pokemon as well?
Sure, and then I feel Luna hop off my shoulder onto the counter.
Yes,
Luna,
ma'am. Could you look at my spirit for me?
she like looks at you like spirit, and then Caleb's kind of like to Ghastly, and she like goes, "Ah, okay." So with both Natsu and Spirit in their Pokeballs, and Luna, she's just running around like on like the table, and Chansey's like trying to like pick her up with her little Chansey hand and stuff. And they go off and to the back room and stuff, and the three of us go wait. About 10 minutes pass or so, and the little Pokeball light just blinks, and out they come. Luna is giving like a big old like smile with the other Pokeballs in tow. Luna hops on the counter and back onto Wolf's shoulder, and Nishoy hands both of us our Pokeballs back with our Pokemon in it. And she says, "It was a pleasure treating your Pokemon. I hope to see you again. Safe travels." And she's like, "Go ahead and go win us the Pokemon League for Terricle Island." So as we leave the Pokemon Center, we Caleb kind of looks over to you guys, and he's like, "All right, so tomorrow we start our journey. You guys ready?"
I'm ready. I've been
You betcha.
waiting for this to happen.
So Caleb nods, and he's like, "All right, well let's meet. Let's meet back at the town square tomorrow morning, and we'll begin." So at this time, each of us are heading back to our respective homes. We're gonna go ahead and start with Wolf. Wolf, you headed back to your house and everything, and of course, Nine Tails is waiting by the fireplace and everything, sleeping. Your mom is sitting on the sofa as you walk in and everything. She looks back and kind of has like a weird tear in her eye as she knows you're about to go off on your journey, and she like stands up and she goes to hug you and stuff, and she says, "Oh, I knew this day was gonna be coming soon, but I kind of got you something." Um, so and she like kind of points up to your bedroom and stuff. She's like, "It's on your bed. So what do you do?"
I will hug my mom back and say thank you, and then Luna and I will both go upstairs to my room to see what the item is.
Okay. So as you both go upstairs to your room and everything, you notice that a very nice looking green backpack is sitting on your bed. Um, and as you go to the backpack, you look inside, uh, and this is to add on to what you already have on your character, but this officially gives you the backpack and stuff. But inside are 10 balls, um, as well as a extra potion that you didn't have before, and a little note from her saying good luck on your journey and so on and so forth. So you can go ahead and add an extra potion and 10 Pokeballs to your inventory.
10 Pokeballs and an extra potion.
Yep. And this officially begins your Nuzlocke. Joking. If you guys don't know what a Nuzlocke is, it is a it's kind of like a harder version to play Pokemon and everything, and you can go on YouTube and find different YouTubers that play Nuzlocke versions of the Pokemon games. It's really fun to play. It sets a lot of challenges for yourself as a player, um, but it's really fun. So as you do that, you get ready for bed and everything, and you pass out for the evening. We're going to go up to Isaiah. Isaiah, you head home and everything with your Pokeball in hand. Uh, as you walk inside your house, your mom is cooking dinner. Um, she has a Gengar that's just sitting there, just playing with the skillet and cookies and stuff. So it's apparent that your family has a fascination with ghost type Pokemon. But your mom's Gengar is sitting there licking one of the cookies as you walk in, and it kind of makes like a little Gengar, Gengar, and like laughs and stuff. Your mom turns around and she kind of gives a smile, and she's like, "Oh, I got you a bag." It seems that the other moms of Wolf and Caleb are doing the same thing, but I got you a bag, and it's over there on the couch. So as you head over to the couch, uh, you notice that you have a red backpack, and inside are 10 Pokeballs and another potion. So you can go ahead and add those to your inventory as well. And before you head to bed, is there anything that you say to your mom and stuff? Because she kind of gives you like the same rundown of like how she wasn't ready for this day, but she knew it was coming anyways, and that she wishes you all the best, and that she knows that tomorrow is the day that you head out. So it's anything you say to your mom.
I would give my mom a hug and tell her thank you for getting me ready for this journey. It means a lot to me. I promise I'll do you proud.
And with that, she kind of gives you a hug and everything as you head back up to your bedroom, and you fall asleep and everything for the night. Caleb kind of goes along the same route and everything. He goes inside, but he kind of goes straight to his room as he sits on his bed and everything. And he sits there just looking at. He has Charmander out of its Pokeball, or Natsu out of its Pokeball, and Natsu's just looking up at him, and they're just having like a little moment as he hears a knock on his door, and Caleb's mom walks in, and she has a blue backpack in her arms, and she kind of like crying a little bit, but more proud tears. Um, as she walks in and presents the bag to Caleb. Caleb looks inside. Of course, there are 10 Pokeballs and a potion. The moms are really close friends as well, and they plan this together. And she gives them the rundown of what your mom said pretty much and everything. And they have a moment, they hug and everything. And she goes off to bed, and Caleb kind of like lays back in bed and just looks up at the ceiling while Charmander like snuggles up in its like little bed off in the corner, and he dozes off slowly. So the next morning, um, it's about 9 a.m. All of us are getting ready. We head out of our houses and make our way towards the uh, center of the town square. So, Wolf, what are you doing as you are heading towards the town square to meet the others?
Well, I'm watching Luna as she's running around my legs, happy to be going on this journey with me. And I'm just laughing at some of the antics she's doing. Like every now and then she'll tumble into a bush and pop out like nothing's happened and all that.
Okay. Isaiah, what are you doing as you're heading towards town square to meet the others?
I would be saying goodbye to Gengar at the family home and mom as I walk out the door. I would yawn and I would continue reading my book on ghost Pokemon and more research into ghost Pokemon in general as I make my way to the town square.
Okay. Caleb is he's got like a determined look on his face as he has his backpack now on and his Pokeballs on his belt, and he doesn't have Charmander out because Charmander's not like a traveling companion as Luna is, but he's got Charmander ready, and he's got his other Pokeballs in his bag ready. He's just determined. Now, as the three of you guys meet each other into at the town square. Um, one second, I am updating my own bag. So as you guys meet in the town square, you guys all look at each other. Caleb looks over to you guys and he's like, "All right, are you guys ready to do this?"
Yep, and then Luna hops up onto my shoulder.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and say that our other friend, Mr. Zex, I'm forgetting his name, Zex, he'll be joining us at a later time. I'm going to go ahead and assume that he'll probably have to do catch up in terms of his character following us. We're going to go ahead and say that he kind of like slept in on the moment, and we assume that he just wasn't wanting to come. So, but he'll join us later on. But with that being said, Caleb kind of like he like motions for you guys to follow, and you guys start heading towards the edge of the town. At the edge of the town, you guys see a few faces that are familiar. Emily is standing there at the edge of the city that leads to the bridge that leads to the mainland, and she's smiling. Your mothers are all there, all crying and stuff, but it's one of those soppy send-offs and everything. The professor's there, uh, Trina, the professor's assistant, and a few other people from the town are there, like saying good job, good luck, all that stuff. We try to hurry by so we're not embarrassed a lot, and we make our way towards the beach, thus starting our adventure. We It takes us about a good 25 minutes to cross the bridge. It's a good walking bridge that
It's
leads
a
to the
good
mainland
bridge.
and everything. It's a decent bridge. Along the way, we see Pokemon in the water and stuff, but we ain't gonna fight them right now. We're just enjoying the scenery as we're officially on our own. Above us, we see Wingull and Pelipper and a few other Pokemon flying overhead. It's a very sunny day. And finally, we get to the edge of the bridge, and we are on to. It is now Route 1, officially Route 1. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the map for my own sake so I can see exactly where we're going and so on and so forth. But we are on Route 1. It's somewhat the bridge connected to the mainland. And as we get off of the bridge and land onto the mainland, we see a sign that points forward and everything, and it says, keep following this path to Telmont City. Telmont City is roughly it's about 4 or 5 hours north of where we're heading. It's a good walking distance and everything.
Oh yeah.
Um, but along the way, there was a bunch of forest area and everything off to the sides. We have to get to a certain point before we are at a crossroads. But while we were on this road, it becomes nightfall a little bit. We take some time to play with our Pokemon and everything. So we're on Route 1. We're right now we have our campfire set up in the local wooded area. It's cleared, so we're not going to cause a forest fire or anything like that. It's contained. So as we're sitting around the campfire, it's nighttime. We're gonna enjoy our time. So, what are you guys doing as we are sitting around this campfire?
I am double checking all my supplies, making sure I had everything packed, and Luna's. I got a little found a little rock that on the ground that Luna's kicking around, playing with.
Okay, Isaiah, what are you doing?
I'm playing with Ghastly, and we're making faces at each other, making each other laugh,
Okay.
trying to not think about being away from home, since it's all new to us and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's best for Isaiah to have a distraction since
Caleb
I've
is
been away from
kind of
home.
yeah. Caleb's in the same boat and stuff,
You
but
call me
he's
dead
laying.
weight.
Caleb is laying on his back and everything, just like looking up at the stars, and Charmander or Nacho is sitting next to him as he's looking up as well. And though he is worried, he's also got the biggest smile on his face. Like he's finally out on his own. He's finally doing or setting out on his dream, to become a Pokemon master and stuff. Um, as you guys are sitting there and stuff, you guys hear howling in the distance. You guys hear the brushing of like insect Pokemon or bug type Pokemon doing their thing. The calm wind through. It's a pretty warm. It's not like super warm, but it's a good night. It's a really good night. And as you guys are sitting there, um, Caleb suggests that whenever you were camping, he looks over to you guys and says, "Hey guys, when we're camping, we should probably take shifts during sleeping time. So how do you guys want to do that?"
I guess I could take the first watch if Wolf will take the next one.
Okay,
I don't have a
Caleb
problem with
Wolf
that.
and okay. So Caleb kind of nods and he's like, "Okay, that's fair." So assumably, if we go to bed at a decent time, we'll each get about 4 hours of sleep or so, 4 to 5 hours of sleep. Um, so Caleb kind of like nods as it's getting pretty late now, and Caleb like he curls into his sleeping bag and calls Charmander to its Pokeball, and Caleb begins to fall asleep. Wolf, what are you doing?
I unroll my sleeping bag, crawl in it, and next thing I know, I feel Luna Cup curled up next to my head.
Okay. All right. So the two of them are passed out. Isaiah is with spirits. That way, spirit is keeping him company. So during these times that we are, this is above table, by the way. During these times that we are taking night shifts, there is opportunity for something to happen to whomever is watching or taking watch. This will all depend on a roll. You will need to roll a d50 if you are able to. Let me see what the die are real quick. No, okay, so go
You
ahead
can
and just
create
do
one. I can create
um
one.
just give no, I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna do this. Um we're just gonna use a d20. It's fine. So if it's 10 and below, nothing eventful happens. But if it's 11 and above, we can go ahead and say something will happen. So, Isaiah, go ahead and give me a d20.
D20 coming right up. I got 11.
Okay, so 11 does mean something's going to happen during your shift. Um, as you're sitting there with spirits, uh, presumably making faces still and everything, you guys hear kind of like a crunching sound off in the distance, and it kind of like spooks you a little bit. And Spirit kind of like looks around and it looks back at you, and it fades away as if it's gonna go like search and see what's going on. As you are, as you look around and everything, you decide that it's time maybe to go do something. So as you're looking around, what are you doing at the time? As as Spirit has faded away to presumably go find what the source of the sound was. What are you doing?
I'm getting up to my feet, try not to wake up anybody until I know what the situation is. I go over into the direction where I supposedly thought I heard the noise, and I'm slowly walking up there and just listening out for any other thing that it possibly be. At the same time, I'm always looking back at the camp where you all are asleep, and I ask in a whispering voice, "Spirit, where'd you go?"
Okay. Right. Well, as you're looking around for spirits, the rustling kind of gets like a little more intense. Spirit appears right next to you, and just like gets like it's not like a very high, like more excited, ghastly sound like most of the time he does. It's more of like a quiet, like
Ghastly.
it's more like a gas kind of thing, whatever whatever they do. And he's like nodding off into like a direction and stuff. And this bush area is shaking. So what I need you to do, give me a D8 roll.
This will determine what generation Pokemon we encounter.
Indeed.
It's a 2.
Okay, so from Gen 2, let me go ahead and pull up my handy dandy Pokédex.
It's an Ivysaur?
Huh?
No,
No,
that
no, no,
no
no,
the
no, no, no.
Oh, Gen 2. Gen 2. My
Gen-
bad.
yeah
So
generation.
now that I need you to,
Oh, cool.
now that you've done that, let's see here. I actually need to pull up. It's not a Bayleaf.
Oh.
It
Sorry,
can
I
be,
was looking
but
at
it's
the.
not.
You're gonna be rolling again. So 1 second.
Okay.
I'm pulling up my other Pokédex. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find it to where it is not listed as a national dex. So let's see here. Johto local dex. Okay. So go ahead and give me a, and it is a fairly decent sized Pokédex. So it looks like you need to give me a D. Go ahead and give me. Can you create a dice on yours?
No, I'm using RPG dice.
Okay, so
I
go ahead and
could.
give.
But
No, just go ahead and give me a 3D 100. It should be fine in that.
a 93?
93. Fantastic. So, it's not bad. Okay, so as you are sitting there and waiting to see what comes out of the bush, Ghastly's kind of like glaring and everything, and out of nowhere, a pineco pops out.
Oh,
If you don't know what a pineco uh, is it's considered a bagworm Pokemon, but it looks like a pineco. Go ahead
it
and look it up.
it likes to explode.
They do like to explode.
It's
Yes,
called a what?
pineco. So Pineco.
Oh dear. It's a bug.
Um, American Warbird. Whenever we are doing these parts and stuff, and I try to explain what the Pokemon is, whenever you are editing, please bring up these Pokemon
Sure thing.
during the thing so our viewers can see it. But yes, you have encountered a pineco, and it looks at you and it starts hopping up and down or whatever on its. It has no limbs. It's a pinecone, and it just starts going pineco, pineco, pineco. And it looks kind of angry. I don't know why it's angry, but it looks angry. And it kind of like it glares at you. So you have the option of backing away, running away, or initiating battle. But I will leave it up to you what you do.
Hmm. Good question. This Pokemon does look familiar. Doesn't it evolve into a fortress or something like that?
It
It
does.
does.
It does indeed.
Hmm. I'll go ahead and do battle with it.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me a D20, please.
Yes. And roll. I got 12.
Well, Pineco got 20. So Pineco is going to attack first, and then it just goes straight for a headbutt. The weird thing about headbutt, though, right now is that headbutt is a normal type move, and Ghastly is a ghost type. It has no effect on your
Right
Ghastly.
through.
It goes right through. Spirit kind of like laughs as it goes right through. It is now your turn to have Spirit do something against this Pineco.
Spirit, use Sucker Punch.
Go ahead and give me a D20.
I got 9.
It got a 7. So, Spirit goes in and just appears right behind Pineco and gives it a nice little punch behind its head, Pinecone head. And Pineco kind of like goes tumbling forward and just goes, Pineco, Pineco. It turns around and it kind of like glares at you, and then it like turns up and like a bullet seed just starts happening. Bullet seed is a grass type move, so it will inflict damage if it connects. Go ahead and give me a D20. Pineco rolls a 12.
9. Crap.
So Pineco's bullet seed does connect. It does slight damage and stuff to Spirit, but Spirit is overall okay right now. It is now your turn.
All right. So I would like to say for Spirit, use Hypnosis.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a D20.
Good move.
13.
11. Your hypnosis connects. Pineco falls asleep. Because it fell asleep, we do skip Pineco's first turn. It is your turn again.
All right. All right. Spirit, use Hex.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a D20.
3.
10. So for some reason, Hex does not work. Pineco is still asleep, though. It is now Pineco's turn. I'm going to roll to see if Pineco gets out. It does. It rolls an 8 out of 10. Pinecone wakes and it kind of like shakes its head as it glares at you and it attempts to use another bullet seed. Go ahead and give me a D20. It rolls 11.
14.
Ghastly or Spirit evades the bullet seed, and the Pineco kind of like turns around towards you and glares at you and starts yelling at you in Pinecone voices. But it's your turn to command Spirit.
Spirit, use Sucker Punch.
Okay.
11.
10. Your Sucker Punch connects. Ghastly will appear beside Pineco as it's looking at you and catch it off guard and punch it yet again. I believe the Pineco now has 3 HP left, correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. Pineco kind of like he starts spinning as he goes spinning towards the other direction as it finally stops and looks at Spirit and it starts yelling at Spirit more and it charges Spirit with another tackle of sorts. And of course, tackle doesn't do anything because it's a normal type move. The reason why I'm doing this is because Pineco would do this in anime. Pineco would do this.
This is a normal
So
Pokemon.
it's a bug type and everything, but this is a move that it would normally use. But it's not every day that Pineco will face a ghost type either. So if it goes right through Spirit again, and it is Spirit's turn to attack.
Spirit, use Lick.
Okay.
Got 3.
15. Pineco kind of like he does like a little twist and turn as it like evades the lick as it turns around and attempts to use another bullet seed. It rolls a 6.
I roll a 7.
You evade quickly. The
Just
Pineco is
barely.
like trying
Just barely.
as Spirit is like floating around. It was trying to follow it and still hit it with the bullet seed, but it is your turn to command. spirits.
Okay. What move should I use? All right. Spirit, use Hex. Roll again. I got a 15.
You got a 10. So the hex connects. It kind of like Pineco starts freaking out a little bit as hex connects and everything. And one of the benefits of hex is that it tends to do damage over time. And as it's eating away at the Pineco, if Pineco is hit one more time, then it is down. And you have the opportunity to catch it. But for now, Pineco tries to attack you once again, and it attempts to use self-destruct.
Yeah.
So, it rolls a 12.
Okay.
Now, bear in mind, self-destruct, whenever it's used, it will make the user faint, and it will do 2 damage to the offending Pokemon if it connects. Or the other Pokemon.
I'm about
What
to
do you
click the button.
roll?
17.
Okay. So, Ghastly quickly fades. Quickly fades to avoid the self-destruction, and Pineco just falls over as it's all googly-eyed. The battle ends, and Ghastly looks at you and then starts nudging towards your Pokeballs, and you have the opportunity to catch it if you would like. Would you like to attempt to catch this Pokemon?
If I remember right, it doesn't have that. It's not that strong. Nah, I won't catch it.
You don't want to catch the Pokemon.
Interesting.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm more of a ghost type Pokemon, anyways, or anything close to it.
Well, it's not likely that you're going to run into a Pokemon every time, or ghost Pokemon every time. But if that's your final decision that you don't want to catch it, then
Well, eh, eh.
we need an answer.
Yeah, you're right. You do need an answer. You know what? Let's just go ahead and try to catch it.
Okay. So whenever you're trying to catch, you will be rolling a d20. 1 through 3 is an epic fail, and it will flee if you roll a 1 through 3. 4 through 10, it is 1 Pokeball shake. 10 through 15, or 11 through 15, is 2 shakes. And then 16 through 20, it's a successful capture. Um, Basically, you can try as many times as you want, as long as you don't run out of Pokeballs. For this instance, weak Pokemon, they won't destroy your Pokeball if you don't catch it on the first turn and stuff. But if you don't catch it on the second turn, it will destroy that Pokeball, and you'll have to use another Pokeball. So, if you would like to go ahead and try to roll a d20 to capture.
All right. Let's hope I can do this. 7.
Alright, so it shakes 1 time. And if it shakes 2 times, and you get a third shake throw. So let's say you throw a Pokeball and it shakes 1 time, and then you throw another Pokeball, it shakes 2 times. That's technically 3 shakes. So so it'll count as a capture.
Yeah, after the third shake, it will
Yeah.
capture.
And if you throw like a Pokeball and it shakes 1, and you throw another Pokeball, it shakes 1, and then you throw another Pokeball and it shakes 1 or 2 times, that counts as a capture. 15 through 20 is
Right.
just or 16 through 20 is like a crit capture. So, but all right, so
All right.
you did not capture it, but you still can use the same Pokeball this time if you would like.
All right. Let's
All
try
right,
to seal the deal this time.
All right, go ahead and roll.
2.
Okay. So in this instance, the Pokemon does flee. Like I said, 1 through 3, the Pokemon flees.
Mhm.
That Pokeball is destroyed, unfortunately. So
So
you're down
you
to 9
got
Pokeballs. But the Pineco does flee, and Ghastly kind of like sticks its tongue out at the Pineco as it runs off into the forest. And you make your way back to the campgrounds, and at this time, Wolf is his alarm is going off on his smartphone. We're not going to live in like the medieval ages where we don't have smartphones on our journey. We have smartphones. His alarm's going off, and it's time for him to go up. Caleb kind of looks over, like, turn off your damn alarm, kind of thing. And Wolf, you come back and you kind of look at our Zaya. You kind of look at Wolf, and what do you say to Wolf as you're getting ready to switch shifts?
Nothing exciting happening. It's your turn to take watch. I want to go to sleep.
He
alright.
seems very upset that you did not catch his Pineco. Um, so Zaya, he goes to bed. He has Ghastly return to its Pokeball. Zaya like just covers up and like zips up the sleeping bag and falls asleep pretty fast. Um, Wolf, as you're sitting there and stuff, I'm assuming that Luna is out playing around, keeping you
Yeah.
company.
Yep.
Okay. What are you doing?
I am stretching my legs a bit from and sleeping on the ground, so I'm walking around the little campsite we made, just keeping an eye out for if any wild Pokemon decide to try and steal our food.
Okay. Um, Go ahead and give me a. Hmm, I'm thinking. Give me a athletics and exploration roll.
What do I roll for that?
Um, you just roll them together. So, um, like you have like let's pull up your page. On your athletics, you have a 1, and then your investigation's a 1. So you'll just roll a. Well, yeah, you'll roll a 2, uh, D. You roll 2 d10s. That's what it is. I was
Two
trying to think.
two D10.
Yeah, so each number you have on your abilities and your proficiencies counts as a d10. So on your athletics, you have you have 1 in athletics, and then you have 1 in exploration. Or yeah, it is 1 in exploration. So you have 2 d10s that you'll be rolling.
I got a 9 and a 4.
Okay. So, to get a success on this, you have to roll above, like, I believe it is a 7 or above. It's a success. You got 1 success out of that. So, as you're looking around and everything, you kind of notice some little tracks uh, leading away, like off the side of the campsite and stuff. Um, what do you do as you see these footprints?
I call Luna over and we start to follow.
Okay. As you're following, you don't go too far into the woods, as the tracks lead to a nearby brush and everything. And it is now your turn to roll a d20 to see if anything of interest happens.
Eight.
What'd you get?
8.
8. nothing really happens as you realize that the tracks that you are following are actually Isaiah's. He was very light-footed as he was in a hurry to find Spirit earlier and stuff, but you come to realize that you're just following Isaiah's footprint. So nothing of really interest happens to you during your shifts. You're just you look around and stuff. You play fetch with Luna a little bit. Um, the hours pass by relatively fast for you, and the alarm goes off again. And it is now Caleb's turn to take the early morning watch. So you can go back to sleep if you would like. What do you do?
Uh, I will tell Caleb, have fun on the watch, and then curl back up in my sleeping bag for for a little bit more sleep.
Okay. So Caleb kind of like gives a nod and everything. I'm assuming that Isaiah is still passed out, right? Okay, yeah. He seems like the person that sleep through an alarm. Caleb kind of like nods and stuff as he has Natsu come out of its Pokeball and starts going. He looks around and goes Charmander, stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and just roll my d20 to see if anything interesting happens. Something interesting is going to happen. I rolled a d20. I rolled a 20 on the d20. So something's gonna
That
happen.
sounds fun.
A crit on that roll doesn't matter. It just something's gonna happen. So as uh as Caleb's walking around and stuff, it's early morning now. It's probably about 6 a.m. ish. About this time that something begins to happen. Charmander kind of like sniffs something in the air, and he starts following it. Like, what is that new smell? And Caleb kind of like wanders after Natsu to see where he's going. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and roll my. I got an 8.
Ooh,
So,
Jimmy.
with that being said, I am going to go ahead and pull up. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. Gotta wait for it to pull up. Maybe. Well, I say that. Give me 1 second. Sorry, it's taking a moment. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to look through and see how many Pokemon are in this dex that I can roll for. In the Galar dex, there is a total of. Damn, that's a very extensive dex. Um, so the overall Pokédex is 400. That is crazy. But that is the dex. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll. That. Number 161.
161.
Okay.
What Pokemon is it?
According to Cerebi.net, number 161 in the Galar Pokemon Dex. I want to make sure. If my thing does not continue to freak out on me. Okay, so yeah. So 161 in the Galar Dex is Roly Poly.
Ooh, it's a moving rock.
Yes. So yeah, pretty much Roly Poly is basically coal that is rolling around. It is a rock type. So as Caleb is walking around, he notices a weird track as Charmander is sniffing the air. He looks below and sees that there's just a constant line being moved around from our fireplace over to the bushes and stuff that lead off towards the mountains that are over off to the east, and those mountains being uh, the Ordic. They're called the Ordic Mountains, and they're off, and the track is leading off towards the mountains, and he kind of like follows it for maybe 10-15 minutes into the forest before he sees this roly-poly, and the roly-poly is just munching on the heated wood of the fire pit that we had created. And Charmander kind of like looks over at it, and it smelled the burned wood and everything, and was just curious as to what it was. The roly-poly turns around and gets very defensive. I'm very hungry because you're eating pizza as I'm sitting here explaining all this, but starving. It looks like pepperoni.
Where is our pizza?
But Natsu kind of like looks at it, and roly-poly turns around and just gets very defensive as it gets ready to battle. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll a d20. Brer, our American Warbird, I'm gonna ask you to roll for the roly-poly whenever it comes time for it.
Sure
So go
thing.
ahead and give me a d20 for roly-poly, please.
Roly-Poly has a 6.
I rolled a 13, so Natsu's gonna go ahead and initiate this battle. Uh, I'm gonna. Caleb's gonna have Natsu go in for a slash. So go ahead and give me another d20, please. I rolled 8.
8.
Re-roll, please. 8.
1.
That is a crit fail. So that does double damage. So Natsu kind of like gets ready as it charges, gets its claws ready, and just goes in for a slash. And the roly-poly gets hit, and then Charmander Natsu, he quickly goes in for another quick slash again, and it hits him twice. So roly-poly's done at 3 HP already. It is now roly-poly's turn. Roly-poly kind of like gets up on its like little wheel and like lets out a little bit of steam as it charges in for like a headbutt towards or Natsu.
14.
14. I rolled 9. So the roly-poly at high speed charges at Natsu and hits it in the gut, and uh, Natsu kind of like grunts a little bit and just lets out like a little Charmander noise. And Caleb looks at him and says, "Natsu, use flamethrower." And Natsu kind of like leans back and just like lets out like a mighty flamethrower. Rolls a 9 again. I don't know how I'm getting these doubles.
3.
It rolled 3. Fantastic. Fire envelops the roly-poly as roly-poly. It's not super affected by it, but it kind of like it feels the burn, so to speak. As this happens, roly-poly decides to use stealth rock, uh, and a bunch of rocks like form above roly-poly, and they kind of catch fire, but as they start being flung towards Natsu. So go ahead and give me another D20, please.
10.
We rolled a 3. So these fire rocks come and pelt onto Natsu, and Natsu kind of just takes it and gets fairly beat up by it. Caleb checks on Natsu, make sure he's still willing to fight. Natsu kind of gives a, oh yeah, I'm still good to go. So Caleb raises out his hand. He's like, all right, go for another slash.
I rolled a 5.
We rolled a 14. Natsu runs in and just gives him a nice slash uppercut kind of thing, and Roly Coly's down to 1 HP. Natsu's down to 3. It is now Roly Coly's turn. As it is recovering from the slash, it kind of attempts to let out a rock tomb attack.
Roly Poly rolled a 6.
We rolled a 17. So rocks begin to form from the ground a bit, and Natsu's able to evade the attacks as Caleb kind of commands him to use another flamethrower to attempt to finish the battle. We roll a 19.
8.
So Roly Poly takes the hit, and Roly Poly kind of falls over, and it's got the googly eye and everything. As Roly Poly does only have one eye at the moment.
For now.
So I'm going to go ahead and take the attempt to try to capture Roly Poly. Go ahead and roll my d20. That is unfortunate. It was a 11, so it's 2 shakes. So in this instance, if I roll anything above a 4, really, it's gonna be a capture. So please do not get 1 or 3 and have a Zaya kind of thing. We're gonna re-roll. We got a 5.
Hey now.
So that counts as its 3rd shake.
Hey, nothing happened to me. I sat there bored mostly.
So 1 shake goes around, and it becomes 3 shakes, and Roly Poly is captured. Charmander kind of he sits there yeah, did it. And Caleb walks over and picks up the Pokeball that Roly Poly was in, and he looks at it, and he has Roly Poly come back out, and he kind of looks at it, and he's like, well, welcome to the team, Roly Poly. And he has Roly Poly been introduced to the Pokédex, and Roly Poly kind of looks around, kind of gives a little shrug of its rocks, and as its dogs are now in a playful mood, it seems. Roly Poly kind of accepts the fact that it was captured. It isn't really keen on it, but it's not too upset about it either. Caleb then looks around and tries to think of a name and stuff, but he has Roly Poly return. He has Charmander return to their respective Pokeballs and puts them on his belt as he makes his way back to the camp. By this time, it's about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And at this time, both of you guys are slowly waking up and everything from your sleep and everything. And Caleb's got kind of a smirk on his face. And he kind of looks at you guys. He's like, guys, you ain't gonna believe what happened.
Oh, what did I miss?
I look over when I open my eyes. I'm all like, what happened?
Caleb kind of pulls out his second Pokeball, and he has Charmander come out, and he's like, we caught a friend. And he throws out the Pokeball, and Roly Poly just pops out and just looks around at everyone and just starts doing little donuts around the fire pit and stuff. And but yeah, he Caleb smiles and stuff. He's like, I caught a Roly Poly last morning and stuff. Just happened find it by chance. So, but there we go.
Well, congrats, Caleb.
Thank you, Wolf. Thank you. I appreciate it. At this time, it's about time for us to start packing and stuff. So, we all start packing up our bags and everything. We begin to head off towards more into Route 1, within the forested area. I think this is going to be a great place for us to stop for today. We each had a chance to capture Pokemon. A battle took place at the beginning of the story. Before we end off and everything, Ghastly actually needs to get a second experience point for defeating the Pineco.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
Yes, every time you defeat a Pokemon, you do that Pokemon that defeated the other Pokemon gains an experience point. So Ghastly should have 2 experience points. Charmander or Natsu has another one added to him. Fortunately, Luna doesn't get an extra one this time, but it's already got 2 XP because Luna kicked butt last episode. So, as we are ending and everything, what are some notable things that you guys take away from this session?
Notable things?
Anything of note or importance that you think?
That we should stay vigilant in case we ever come across more Pokemon.
That's fair.
Try to jump Wolf more often is something I would like to try to do.
Wait, what?
That'd be interesting.
You
to
know,
see.
with my Pokemon and everything, just scare the hell out of you just for the shits and giggles.
I can see that Isaiah is going to be a prankster of sorts on Wolf a lot.
Wolf. And then for your
All
comment that you made before, Wolf, just letting you know that for a second there when we were at the Pokemon Center, because you said you're a breeder and everything, I thought you wanted to go all Brock on the nurse droid, to be honest with you.
No, I am not as bad as Brock.
Sure.
I am not as bad as Brock. Brock flirts with every woman.
So,
watch carefully as we delve into the life of Wolf.
with that being said, Caleb did catch the roly-poly. For the next episode, I will have a nickname picked out for him and whatnot. I'll be updating my character sheet and everything. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to American Warbird to end us out. But thank you guys for tuning in and joining us for the second session of our Pokemon D&D with the Exodus Dominion. TattedSith
And this is
Azrael,
American Warbird.
and American Warbird, take us out of here.
Thanks for watching, everyone. This was a great session. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Smack the notification bell if you want to be updated on our latest videos. Like the video, and if you have any suggestions for names for future Pokemon, leave them in the comments. And see y'all in the next video.